إني ألقى الإناس في صومي وصلاتي ودعائي للرحمن وجميع الطاعات.
والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد: ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون إن كنتم مؤمنين. وقال تعالى: إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين. صدق الله العظيم. My dear brothers and dear sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates everybody, every single human being with a set of qualities. Just let me know if I'm wrong with that. If anybody doesn't have any qualities, just let me know. But this is the understanding that Allah creates every human being with some qualities. We use those qualities to get through our life and become stable and successful. If you are earning your daily bread, you have a place to stay, your clothes, you may not be a billionaire or a millionaire, but mashallah, it's going along. You've used your capability. Either you're good with your hands, you're good with your brain, you're good with your tongue, or whatever. Multiple ways of qualification that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides. So how many people here consider themselves to be somewhat successful? Let there be some people, please. You may have never had a question asked to you. So I understand that you might like, what's this guy doing? But it's to not let me sleep and make sure that I'm getting through to you. So how many of us consider ourselves to be successful? Okay, there's one brother there, mashallah. Only one brother. You guys are failures or what? Let me ask the question again. How many of us consider ourselves decently successful and thank Allah for it? Okay, a few more, mashallah. What is that? Loser? You? What do you think? You're not successful so far? You're a loser? Because the opposite of successful is loser. Right? I think, sorry, maybe I didn't explain it properly. You're not a loser, man, you're successful. Most people are successful. Few people are losers. They just do nothing. They sit around. They think, they try to do get rich schemes and it doesn't work out. And they try to make money quickly, but it doesn't work out. Or they're just absolutely lazy. Those people are losers. So Allah also creates everybody with a set of weaknesses. Everybody has a set of weaknesses and challenges. So you have a collection of qualities and you have a collection of weaknesses. Most people recognize their qualities, but not everybody is willing to get their weakness and understand it. So that's why they deal with excessive anger. That's a weakness. Excessive desire to eat too much or to do something else too much, or addiction, that's a weakness, right? In fact, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates human beings, like let's just take a family of 3-4 children, 3-4 brothers and sisters, same parents, same home environment, same food, same nurture, tarbiyah, etc. But one is going to be a bit sharper than the other. One is going to be a bit faster than the other. One is ready 5 minutes before the time you have to go. The other one just about gets right, and there's a third one who is still in the toilet. Right? You understand what I'm saying? Someone gets more angrier, someone is stingier. The other one, he will share even his last sweet, whereas another one, even if he has a pack of sweets, he won't share it. You get different people. Allah creates like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Our job is to figure out our qualities and use them and thank Allah for them. And also to identify, recognize our weaknesses and do something about it. Otherwise, they let us down. So now we have a very short amount of time. What I want to discuss is that there's been some capable people. Most people are capable, and there's some extremely capable people. For example, I was in Egypt in 2017, I think, in the Mubarak days. Any Egyptians here? Right? That was in the Mubarak days, when Mubarak was. I don't mean Mubarak blessed, but maybe he is blessed, I don't know. So we went to this museum that was 5 floors, huge museum, built by the British about 100 years ago. And I paid, if I remember correctly, 9 or 10 Egyptian pounds to get in. Then when you go on the second or third floor, there's a special room, probably no bigger than this part of the masjid here, which you have to pay 3 times as much extra ticket to get into. Because there's something very special in there. There are 7 or 8 or 9 bodies in there. The body of Pharaoh is there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says regarding the Pharaoh in the Quran that we're going to give you respite with your body so that you become a lesson for the people afterwards. Ramses II is in there, Medem Tar is in there, others. One of them was the Pharaoh of Musa alayhi salam's time. And he's preserved. What's interesting is that his body was only discovered about 150 years ago. Until then, people still read the verse and must have interpreted that, okay, maybe he didn't drown and he was buried or whatever. But the prophecy of the Quran, the foretelling of the Quran, the truth of the Quran is that even after centuries, we discover that it's actually more real, it's more literal and more real than what we thought before, because Allah actually preserved the body until today. How many other people's bodies are preserved? How many years ago did Pharaoh live? How many years ago was Musa alayhi salam? 4,000 something, and then he says 2,000 is 3,000 something. Just less than 4,000. That's a huge amount. Even if it's 1,000 years, that's huge. To have their body still preserved. And in fact, when Allah preserves something, He preserves everything. So in that building, that museum, there from Pharaoh's needle to his Rolls Royce, everything is there, full, and there's much more. Allah let them preserve everything because He said, I'm going to preserve it. So that I went in there to see this as a lesson from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that what a capable individual. He had control of the Egypt, he had control, enslaved the Bani Israel, made them work, slave labor, built the pyramids. Those guys, they built the pyramids and so on. Egyptians are benefiting from it today. What a capable individual. In Arabic, the word for capability, one of the words is qabiliyah. For those who speak Urdu and other related language, you don't speak Urdu, right? You should learn it, man. Qabiliyah. Bada qabil insan hai. Qabiliyat wala hai. That's what they say. I need to figure out the Bangla way of doing it. Inshallah, soon. Are you from Silat. Yeah. So, qabiliyah. Qabiliyah means capability. He was a very capable person. Now, you know, every word in Arabic comes from a root of 3 letters. What's your name again? Ma'moon. Ma'moon comes from the 3 letters alif, mim, noon, aman, which means safety. Ma'moon means the safe one. Okay? Ahmed comes from ha, mim, dal, which means to praise. Every Arabic word has to come from these roots. Qabiliyah comes from qaf, ba and lam. Interestingly, you create another word from that called qubuliyah. Have you heard of qubuliyah? Acceptance. And here, divine acceptance. When Allah accepts somebody, you've got qubuliyah. Divine acceptance. That means in the hereafter, he's going to be enjoying. Allah's going to make him close. Allah loves this person. If you have qabiliyah, we need to get qubuliyah, because our qabiliyah is only worth it for this world. You could do very well with yourself, have huge qabiliyah and ability, but it's only benefit you to this world like it benefited Pharaoh to the end of this world. But he doesn't have qubuliyah. Because he doesn't have qubuliyah and acceptance, Allah says in the Quran regarding him, وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَدْخِلُوا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ أَشَدَّ الْعَذَابِ. On the day of judgment, now enter Pharaoh into a worse punishment, more severe punishment, which means he's already being punished now, because he has no qubuliyah and no acceptance. So alhamdulillah, most of us consider ourselves with qabiliyah and ability. Do we have qubuliyah? It's a good start to be in the masjid, of course, right? May Allah grant us qubuliyah. How do you gain qubuliyah? Gaining qubuliyah is being selfless. Not doing everything for our own self, not doing everything selfishly, but to do something for the sake of Allah. Anybody here who has qabiliyah, there must be something we can do in a selfless act. Volunteer somewhere, assist somebody, donate something, morally support something, physically assist somebody. That's what you call assistance. I'll give you a few examples. I don't want to just leave you with some grand ideas. I'll give some examples. I was in America once for about 8 years, in the 2000s. My masjid was a small masjid, the only masjid for 70 miles on the coast of California. 70, no other masjid, 40 miles up north, 30 miles up north, 40 miles down south, like that, next masjid. Because people were so scattered, I used to get just a few people for regular salat and only 100 people approximately like this for Jumu'ah. So I recognize 100 people, you can recognize their faces. When you go to some of the big masjids, you can't recognize who's who because there's so many people coming in and out. 100 people you can recognize. Normal salat, very few people because people at work, especially Dhuhr Asr. There was one kid, 21, 22-year-old, his name was Umar. He used to always be there with me. Sometimes it was just me and him. Some days he missed salat. He was separated from his parents and he would earn a living, just hand to mouth, by teaching children, tutoring. Sometimes he would miss salat. Then I found out later why he missed salat. He lived 10 miles away from the masjid. Right? Now, California, the freeways and everything, it means 10, 12 minutes of driving. It's not like London where it's crazy. 5 miles will take you an hour sometimes, He used to come to the masjid. When he had no petrol, he wouldn't come to the masjid. That's how I know he didn't have petrol money. He was just surviving. Now, like right now, Ramadan is coming up. So me and I was the imam, the committee, we were going to get together to decide on how many dates to order for iftar for Ramadan. That's what masjids do, they order lots of dates. We hadn't had the meeting yet, it was still a bit early. We hadn't had the meeting yet. One day I come into the about 3 weeks before Ramadan and I see a whole stack of dates. So where did these dates come from? Because we haven't had our meeting. I was always there in the masjid, no meeting. I mean, who brought these dates? Somebody said, I think it's Umar. I was like, Umar? He just about survives. Next time he came to the masjid, I said, Umar, did you buy those dates? And he avoided the question. He tried to avoid the question. Then I realized it is him. And I felt so bad and so gutted. I'm the imam. I was telling people that if you feast, the hadith says that if you feed a fasting person, for example, you will get their reward. This guy heard it and did something about it and I didn't. I was waiting for ourselves and the committee to buy it from the masjid's money. I should have thought that, okay, imams don't make much money, but I made more than him. I was more stable than him. I could have easily done it, meaning more easily done it than him. But he had the qubuliyah to do it. Despite having less qabiliyah. I felt so gutted. I said, Umar, let me pay you at least. Now that you've done it, let me pay you. He said to me, Shaykh, don't steal this from me. He said, don't steal this from me. I just completely felt very gutted. And may Allah bless him. Does he know that we're making dua for him? No. I'm making dua for him in grace. He doesn't even know what grace is. Such an act. If people could make dua for us, mashallah, he was a nice guy. Especially, do you think people are going to pray for us after we die? Somebody's going to, except our close family. Do you think people are going to? The more the better, we get more du'as. That's an amazing investment. Okay, another quick example. You've heard of Costco. There's a shop called Costco, a big store, right? It was close to my house, so I would go there. And as I said, I recognized most of the Muslims of the area because they would come for Jumu'ah. Somebody, one of the workers there, suddenly comes up to me, Assalamu alaikum, because I used to be dressed like this. So he's like, Assalamu alaikum, how are you, brother? I'd never seen this guy before. He works in Costco locally. I'd never seen him in the masjid. What should I do? Should I start telling him, my brother, why don't you come to the masjid? If I did that, he probably won't want to see me again. Right? I spoke to him. His name is Ahmed, Turkish brother. So we had a conversation, and then after that, I said, brother, yeah, I know, but I have 2 jobs. I'm married to an American. I have 2 jobs. I'm struggling. I said, okay, inshallah, easy for you. There's the masjid, we'd love to see you. Just generally like that. And then I left that, and then suddenly, some months later, maybe 5, 6, 7 months later, we used to have Jumu'ah in a community center because our masjid was very small. It couldn't accommodate 100 people. It was like 50. could accommodate. So we used to hire a community center. I came out of the community center, and California is hot, not cold. Right? It's hot. I came out and somebody serving everybody water. MashaAllah, I saw bottles of water down there. Whoever gave that, Allah bless them as well. Right? These are chilled bottles of water, 2 crates of Costco water, maybe about 48 bottles. I go, who is this? Because we never used to do this. It would cost $7 maybe to buy 2 crates in those days, the price of 2 Starbucks coffees. But 48 bottles that you can, mashallah, treat 48 people with. So who is this? Ahmed. First time he came for Jumu'ah and he bought water with him to give everybody. He must have taken it home, chilled it, and then brought it. Now I'll tell you something. If you give somebody cool water on a hot day, do you have to ask them for dua? I don't think so. They're gonna like, God bless you, man. You know, because who doesn't appreciate water? How valuable is water? You know, amazingly valuable. Why do this? Again, I felt completely gutted. I said, I never thought about this. I can do $7 a week. Yes, it'll be a bit of a hassle or bring it and all of that. I could do that. But he thought of doing that. Allah bless Ahmed. I don't even know, I haven't seen him for 15, 20 years. I don't even know where he is. But I'm making dua for him. Allah bless him, reward him with the best of this world and the hereafter. How can we get that? How can we get that? To finish off, how can we get that? Very simple. Firstly, we have to ask Allah, oh Allah, accept me for some service of your deen. I don't know. You might be a taxi driver, like, how do I serve the deen? You might be a housewife, like, how do I serve the deen? Only scholars can serve the deen. No, everybody can. I'm here to open up the doors of friendship with Allah. It is not only for the scholars. Yes, scholars have a better chance because they know the deals that are going on. Right? Anybody and everybody, do not underestimate yourself. You can be closer to Allah than anybody else. The door of open. If you're a taxi driver, do some rides for free. If you're a lawyer, do some cases for free. You're a painter, go and volunteer and do some job to help somebody out. You're a housewife, you can cook for someone, you can help somebody do shopping, you can make somebody feel good by just visiting them who don't have people to visit them. There's lots of stuff. We don't know, Ya Allah, every day, at least after one prayer, oh Allah, accept me for the service of your deen. I don't know how I'm going to help. Allah, accept me. And look out for opportunities. Don't keep waiting for others to do stuff. Let us do something. Let us do it. Just like I should have provided the water, I should have provided the dates and taken that opportunity. What a great reward that was. Right? Nobody's told me to fundraise here, so this isn't about fundraising. Right? This is just about wherever you are, stop being selfish. I'm talking to myself. Stop making loads and loads of money and not doing anything with it except just buying new stuff and new this and new, even though the old one works. Giving zakat every year to Apple for a new iPhone, even though your last year is completely fine. But I have to pay them my zakat every year. I have to get the new one, even though the old one is completely fine. They don't need your money. And it's not just about money, but anything else. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of us for the deen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this masjid, all the brothers and sisters here, allow it to, mashallah, increase and enhance and be full of guidance.
في صومي وصلاتي ودعائي للرحمن وجميع الطاعات هل لي من الرحمن فيضا من البركات أنجو من النيران ومخاطر